Did you know that an Emirates pilot can have $128,000 per year after he retires from Emirates Airline? Are you curious how? In this video, we are gonna dive step by step retirement calculator for Emirates Airline. Hello again. I am Caner. I am with you with another video. Today we are gonna talk again finance. You have been asking, how is the retirement in Emirates? So I decided to record a video about Emirates pilot retirement. Emirates is a great place to work for, and I will list everything about the retirement. Before understanding retirement, how beautiful it is in Emirates, you should understand what's the retirement for other people in other fields in the United Arab Emirates or even in Middle East. In Middle East, there is something called end of service benefits. Basically, end of service benefit is for full-time employees and is calculated as follows. It's 21 days basic pay per year of service for the first 5 years of service. And it's going to be 30 days of basic pay per year after 5 years. So let's assume that you were a captain in Fly Dubai and you worked there for 30 years. And once you retire, your basic salary was 40,000 dirham. These numbers are hypothetical. 30 times 40,000 is equivalent to 1.2 million dirhams. Once you retire, you will get lump sum of 1.2 million dirhams. Don't forget, now we are gonna dive into Provident Fund, and at the end of this video, we will compare the Provident Fund with the end of service benefit. Alright, now we continue with the Provident Fund. Provident Fund is really great in Emirates. So basically, there are three accounts there. A account, B account and C account. A account is there for company contribution. Company each month contributes 12% of your basic salary into A account. In that case, whatever you are taking, 12% of your basic salary goes into A account, and you have to contribute 5% mandatory each month to your B account. Don't confuse. A account is company contribution, B account is your mandatory 5% contribution. C account is voluntary contribution done by you each month for this account. C is purely voluntary. For the sake of this video, I didn't involve any voluntary contribution for your retirement. There's also one called reduced rates. So if you don't want to contribute 5% from your basic into B account, you can contribute 2.5%. But in that case, company only contributes 7%. So this is highly discouraged. Don't ever think of using these reduced rates, because whenever you retire from Emirates or resign, you can take B account and C account no matter what. Therefore, actually, while you are using reduced rate, you are giving up from the free money. It looks like from 12 to 7% is not a huge number, but in fact, it's a huge number. 5% of your basic salary for the 30-year period will cost you hundreds thousands of US dollar per month. Okay, we talk about the account types, numbers and contribution rates. Now we are talking about the vesting rates. Yeah, there are 3 years and 5-year vesting periods. The vesting period starts when you join the scheme, not the company. This is really important thing. So company starts contributing for your retirement once you are released to the line, not when you join the company. There are 6 months gaps in between in general when you join the company versus when you join the scheme. So the magic numbers for the vesting periods are 3 years and 5 years. So if you stay in the company between 1 and 3 years, you will get end of service benefits plus B and plus C. Don't forget, B account and C accounts are your own money. You contributed from your own pocket. So no matter what, you will get these numbers. But for the A, you will never get A accounts money if you stay less than 3 years. But if you stay between 3 and 5 years in this company, then you will get 75% of A account or end of service benefit, whichever is greater. In that case, most of the time, 75% of A account is better than the end of service benefit. I resigned exactly after hitting 3 years from Emirates to get my 75% of A account, and that was significantly higher than end of service benefit. So that's why I stayed a couple of extra months to get my 75% of A account. And on top of that, as usual, you will get B account and C account, because what we said, this is already your money. So 3 to 5 years, you will get 75% of your A account plus B plus C. In rare cases, if end of service benefit is more than 75% of your A account, you will get this amount. After 5 years, you are fully vested in the company, so you can get full amount of A account, B account, and C account. Now we can talk about how you invest, right? Emirates contribute this money as a cash, and you also contribute as a cash. You shouldn't be leaving your money as cash, right? You need to invest this money. Therefore, in this Provident Fund scheme, there are lots of funds that you can choose from. Each year, Emirates provides 2 free consulting with Mondial LLC. So basically, you can get free financial consulting for your Provident Fund in Dubai 2 times per year for free. In these consulting sessions, you can talk what's your expectation. They can suggest you based on your age, risk tolerance, your retirement target, how much money you would like to get once you retire. These kind of things will decide what kind of investment strategy you need to follow. I check the rates, what fund perform how for the last 15, 20 years. And some funds are young, some funds are old enough to have a historical data. I was using BGF Global Long Horizon Equity Fund for my investment, and I see that in 17 years it has 200% appreciation rate. And also Russell Global Selective Equity Opportunities Fund brought 61.89% in 6 years. So it's a good approximation for me, guys, to have 8% appreciation rate, and it's also matching with the S&P 500 rates. S&P 500 a little bit more than 8%, of course, for the last 30 years, but as a conservative calculator, I would like to use always conservative figures rather than opportunistic values. It's always nicer to calculate some conservative values. If you get more than this, nice. As you can see here, I used 8% appreciation rate, and company contributes 12% of your basic salary, and the pilot has to contribute 5% mandatory, and the rate increases to 15% from company side once you reach the 10 year. And once we combine this monthly contribution done by the company and yourself and multiply it by 12 and 8% appreciation rate, you can see at the end of each year how much money you're expected to have here. And don't forget, 8% is an average value. Sometimes you will make much more than this value, but sometimes because of the economical crisis or some other certain cases, you will make maybe minus 5%. But it's not important. The important thing is over 30 years career, how much you will make per year average as an appreciation rate. So 8% is a realistic approach. And as you can see, first years increments are not that great, and after 10 years it's reaching somewhere around 300,000. 10 year, don't forget, I will come to this point. And after that, actually around year 18, 19, you will be hitting $1 million barrier, and after 30 years actually you will make 3,220,813. This is because purely a compound effect of the retirement. Once you start contributing, your money is not compounding that much, but as you are aging in the company, you are earning more, and then company contributes more, then your retirement's growing faster than the initial part of your career. Therefore, it's really important to stay in the company 30 years in order to get these numbers. I just double check these numbers with the actual values. I asked a couple of friends who either just resigned or retired or are actively working after some certain years. I ask how much money you have, and these numbers up and down by a couple of percentage is exactly matching with the real values. So we can say that these are realistic approaches. It is not possible to say exact figures since it depends on too many variables, but with the assumptions that I made, it is safe to say you can save $3 million if you stay in the company 30 years, and if you upgrade after 6 years. And you remember at the beginning of the video what I said about a Fly Dubai captain with a $40,000 basic salary in a month? He was able to make $326,000. An Emirates captain can make almost 10 times more in retirement than a Fly Dubai pilot. As you understand how strong to have Provident Fund in this case. Provident Fund is really great tool to save a fortune for you guys if you can stay in the company 30 years. That's why I always suggest for young pilot, you might consider Emirates even if you join Emirates as a first officer or versus you're joining as a Fly Dubai as a direct entry captain. You need to think about the future and you need to think about how long you can stay in Emirates or in Fly Dubai. So total career worth not only depends on seat or airplane type you're flying, also do they have end of service benefit or a company has Provident Fund like Emirates. In that case, Emirates is 10 times better than Fly Dubai or any other end of service benefit paying airline in the Middle East. Let's pause here. I want to tell you something, guys. If you like the content me and my team are creating on this channel, you can consider contributions or membership options through buymeacoffee.com. I'll put the link down below so you can go ahead and contribute us. Your contributions will really help to create more quality content on this channel. Thank you so much. Alright, let's say you retired with $3.2 million in your Provident Fund, you get your cash, so how you are gonna do it? So basically, the retirements are calculated based on 4% rule. I would like to discuss what is 4% rule. 4% rule is the safe withdrawal rate for those who want to retire and constantly withdraw money, and at the same time they don't want to run out of money until they die. So 4% is tested with Monte Carlo simulation many times and it's a safe withdrawal rate. So basically, let's say that you retired with $3,220,813 US dollar. That 4% of this number will be $128,832 US dollar. You can make $10,746 US dollar per month tax-free. And if you think that once you retire after 30 years, your basic salary will be 16.2 thousand, it's gonna be almost 61% of your last basic salary. This is a good rate because that's how in general pensions are calculated. Once you retire, you are getting 60 or 70% of your final basic salary. If you're getting this amount, it is good. But don't forget, you need to work 30 years to be able to get 60% of your final salary with a 4% rule with an 8% appreciation rate in Emirates Airline. Don't forget, this $10,000 per month will not be the same after 30 years because of the inflation. You need to adjust this money with the inflation rate over how, I don't know where you are planning to live, but based on this with the US dollar, 3% adjustment will decide real purchase power of today's $10,000. If you want to retire in Luxembourg, let's say, GDP of the Luxembourg is $128,000. So basically, even after you retire, you can go and live in Luxembourg in a really nice life. But if you want to live in European countries, let's say Germany in that case, average GDP is here 49.4 thousand per person, so you can have a comfortable life in Germany after you retire. So you can choose where you would like to retire because definitely you can afford best life as a retiree after you retire in Emirates at the age of 65. If we apply 4% rule to a hypothetical Fly Dubai captain's lump sum, as we discussed at the beginning of the video, $326,741 will bring $13,069 US dollar per year. So can you imagine? On one side you have per year $13,069 US dollar, and on the other side you will have $128,832 US dollar. So this is the power of Provident Fund, and you have to work 30 years. But in Emirates, in fact, not many pilots are choosing to work 30 years period. So once they come, magic number is 15. Once they hit the 15 years that they can get the ticket rights from Emirates, they resign. So hardly ever pilots are approaching 30 years in Emirates. and that supported my 3.5-year experience at Emirates. And before this video, I also asked my friends at Emirates, have they ever flown with a captain that is in the company more than 30 years? They said no. So it is very difficult to reach 30 years period. There are lots of resignations at Emirates Airline. Once you retired at the 10th year period, if you go back to table that I showed you, you can see that in fact you can make significantly less, in that case almost $320,000. It is still like what a Fly Dubai captain makes in 30 years, you can make in Emirates in 10 years because of the Provident fund, but don't forget, you will nowhere reaching $3 million in that case. Therefore, you need to plan your retirement wisely. Another thing I'll see from pilots in Emirates when they resign, they treat this money as a lump sum and they go and buy a house. This is, from my understanding, is horrible things to do, because this money is for retirement. You need to think about your future. If you take your lump sum when you retire from Emirates, or when you resign from Emirates and put in somewhere else to buy a house, is not a good investment. Let's say you are from UK, you haven't worked for 15-20 years, and then you go back to your country, then you won't have a proper retirement in your country, because there's a huge gap of 20 years that you didn't work in UK, you didn't pay tax, or you didn't do anything. So that's why, guys, you need to pay particular attention for your retirement. Whatever you will get from Emirates needs to be spent for the retirement. That was it. I know it's a very complicated video because there are lots of variations involved to calculate that, and it's hard to understand the system. It took a month for me to understand and digest the system once I joined the company, but once you get used to it, it's extremely simple. I hope you liked the video, guys. As usual, before I go, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get the notifications. And also don't forget to share the videos with your friends. And also you can send your comments through the comment section. I will read each of them. I will try to answer your questions. All right, see you in another video. Bye bye.